Okay, Google pause. Okay, Google pause. We aren't going to let enemy stop us. We are masters in our nonviolent movement in disarming police forces. They don't know what to do. I've seen them so often. I remember in Birmingham, Alabama, when we were in that majestic struggle there. We would move out of the 16th Street Baptist Church day after day. By the hundreds, we would move out. Bill Connor would tell them to send the dogs for us. And they did come. We just went before the dogs singing, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Bill Connor next would say, turn the fire hoses on. As I said to you the other night, Bill Connor didn't know history. He knew a kind of physics that somehow didn't relate to the trans physics that we knew about. And that was the fact that there was a certain kind of fire that no water could put out. And we went before the fire hoses. We had known water. If we were Baptists or some other denomination, we had been immersed. If we were Methodists and some others, we had been sprinkled, but we knew water. That couldn't stop us. And we just went on before the dogs, and we would look at them, and we'd go on before the water hoses, and we would look at it. And we just go on singing, over my head, I see freedom in the air.
Yo, I'm the nigga with the perpetual oyster bars, mother of pearl delivery, voice of God, and it's hard just being the boss, B, and I can't go to jail cause them years it cost me. Don't get me wrong, lay a nigga down if you force me. Rather just sit back and roll the Dutch. Think about how I'ma put the game in the cobra clutch. Think about how I'ma get the game over customs. Never underestimate niggas or over trust them. Yeah, them M's is right in my face. I just gotta throw my Timbs on and tighten my lace. If it don't jam, the pepper spray. When I spit, everybody gotta split like pepper spray. Cause I'm a nigga that hate the sound. I'm a man of the Lord, but I still can't shake the devil. Move the way and still can't escape the ghetto.
The time to talk is up, so bring the heat. The time is over. While you're running your mouth and creeping up over your shoulder. Gun, a knife, a bat, anything I can get my hands on. All my blood start acting up and I
know how to get my peers off me. They can cry and die from high blood pressure. His tears are salty. It's a symptom if you pop in your head. You know that he's sick. You know the flow is ridiculous. I'm throwing my grip. When I get it, you already know I'm throwing them bricks. Putting purple everywhere, daddy. I'm throwing them nicks. That's right, homie. You can't move me. I ain't going nowhere. I'm in the hood like bootleg movies.
What up?
I'm just waiting
what up? What up? What up? What up? Let me post a call in number. I like when we do these small shows. I like when it ain't hardly nobody here. We can get in and get out and get through the material without all the riffraff. All of the fake ass R. Kelly supporters. Y'all like my new shirt? This is an exclusive right here. Here's my shirt up. How many of y'all read the book? Read the chapter, I'm sorry. How many of y'all read the chapter? You know, excuse me. Y'all can't see me. Y'all can't see me. What you mean y'all can't see me? Hold on, let me see something. Oh shit, my bad. Let me see something. Oh shit, my bad. Let me see something. There we go. Oh shit, my bad. Let me see something. Alright. Y'all can see me. Alright. Yo. So we up in here. Okay. Change this around a little bit. There we go. We're going back to blue. How many of y'all read this chapter? Again, the call-in number is on the screen. Call-in number is on the screen. Let me see here. There we go. I like that one a little bit better. Okay, here. Let me see if let me make sure before we flip over. Okay, this ain't the right one, y'all. Give me 1 second to pull it up. The right one that is. Before we go ahead and jump off into this one. Again, y'all can hit the call-in number if y'all had any questions. Okay? If y'all got any questions. If you were unclear about this chapter, we ask that you hit the call-in number now. If you were unclear about this chapter, then we ask that you hit the call-in number now. Okay, so since there is nobody who pretty much wants to take and hit the call-in, let's go ahead and do something. Get myself straight here. Okay. All right, now we start off with this chapter. This chapter is called They Came Before Columbus, Africans Across the Sea. And so I know that y'all pretty, some of y'all are just wondering, just perplexed, what exactly we going to be talking about. Some of y'all are just perplexed as to what we're going to be talking about. It's cool. We're going to get to it. Okay. All right, hold on. 1 second, y'all. Let me get this right back up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, here we are. They came before Columbus. All right. Now, again, right in the chat, if you read this chapter, I'm going to take a step out here on a limb and say, I guess y'all didn't read this chapter. It's cool. We still love you over here at Opinionated. Still the same. Even though you didn't read the chapter, we still love you still the same. All right, so we're going to run through this one. Again, in this chapter, what did we learn? We learned that there were Africans that went across the sea way before Columbus ever thought to come to America. All right. Now, right here, we have Alves. Okay. We have a guy by the name of Alves. All right. Now, it says that Alves came into the river of Gambia, or he was on the blue banks of Gambia. And when Alves was on the blue banks of Gambia, he stood across the ship deck and he basically set his eyes upon a new land. See, he thought that he was the first one there who was discovering this land. Okay, or he thought he was the first one to basically set ships to sail out on the river, okay, on the ocean. But what Alvis did not know is that this had already been done. Okay, the Phoenicians had already sailed the coast of Africa. They had already went all the way around just the country of Africa. And right here in the red, we can see their route. As a matter of fact, let me break up out of here real quick. Let me see if I can let me go a few places real quick. Let me see if I can get y'all a better viewpoint of what exactly. Okay, here we go. All right, let's roll with that one. Okay. All right. Now, when we look at Miss Fat Fat ain't read a motherfucking thing. All right, now when we look at this route, right, on this far right picture in the red, we see the route that a guy by the name of Hanno took, right? And this is basically a Phoenician ship on the far left. These, you see all of the oars, you see the elongated elephant trunk type of nose on the ship with the two sails. You see the Phoenician men. One of these niggas look like Montel Jordan, and the other one looked like Lenny Williams and shit back in the 70s. All right. So these were black people. All right. Now they had already been sailing Africa damn near 1,000 years prior to all of this shit. Okay. All right. Is there any questions on this side? All right, then we moving right on along. Now we had Hanno the Explorer. Hanno the Explorer was the name of the captain of the ship. And what Hanno the Explorer did was he took them all the way around the country of Africa. And then what he did was he even took them into what they call the Bight of Benin. All right. And what we see in this picture right here, this white guy, this computer simulated white guy, this is Hanno the Explorer. Now I know, I see General Wish, 3-star general, you feel me? General Wishbone. She said she loved the slides. I want to say thank you because, or you are welcome, because this is the reason why this shit took so long to put together. 2.5, 3 weeks. It took me a while to put this together because you have to go and find all these pictures. These pictures ain't hard to find, to take, to multiply, and still do the service that I do outside or behind the scenes while still trying to bring this valuable and potent content that will be stolen by Dana J later. However, let's continue. This is the Bight of Benin. This is the Bight of Benin. And then we saw where they had transmigrated. We saw these routes. The Bight of Benin to your far left under the words Hanno the Explorer. This is what the Bight of Benin looks like. You see, it looks beautiful, looks tropical. You feel me? Beautiful, tropical. This guy right here, his name is Hanno the Explorer. Okay, this is in the book. Okay, this is in the book. All right. And he had taken him all the way as far as what they call the Sherbro Sound. Okay. And so this picture right here at the bottom is something called Sherbro Sound. And I'm going to write this shit in the chat so y'all can look it up. Those of y'all who are watching the playback, you feel me? Like, again, like I say, when Dana J go and steal this shit, I want to make sure he get it right. You feel me? So, this is the Sherbro Sound. Okay, that's it right there. All right. So, that's the Sherbro Sound. Okay. Now, this is the Bight of Benin. Again, these two pictures. This is the route that they took right here in this first bubble at the very top. Then at the bottom, this is the Sherbro Sound. Okay, this is the older picture of it at the bottom. And again, this is another picture right here to the far left. Move right on along if there's no questions. Okay, no questions. Okay, now, what it said was when they rolled into it, when they rolled into Gambia, they were on the Gambian River, right? And then it said, bring down on them were three boats, three large boats. This is what the Portuguese calls polides. These were dugout boats made of enormous hollow trees. Okay, I want y'all to remember the term dugout boats. I want y'all to remember that. All right? She says, I'm late to class, but I'm here. The dog ate my book, but I'm listening. The only thing Columbus discovered was that he was lost. He discovered some ass whoopings too. All right, he's a scamming motherfucker. However, we're gonna continue. What it says is that the Portuguese called these boats zipolides. These were dugout boats. The reason why come they're called dugout boats is because you had a bunch of people with saws, chainsaws, wood chippers and shit like that that were looking at these boats, or they would go and take one of these boats. They would basically cut down a tree, go in and get a device that's similar to an ice pick, and they would go in and they would hollow out these boats, and then they would sell on what they could not chip. They would sell in these hollowed out trees, right? So I want y'all to remember this. This is very important because at the end of the chapter, this is going to be revisited. Now, it said like the ship's boats, they were propelled by oars, right? Now, you see those paddles in this picture to your far left, those are oars, right? Those are oars. Hey, Melinda Stewart. Okay, those were oars, okay? And you see them, they making their way. Okay. Now, so this is them. These are other people. And they said that there were 35 Negroes in each dugout boat. Could you dig that? Okay. Could you dig that? Okay. Could you dig that? It was 35 niggas in this hollowed out tree trunk. Now, black people still put too many niggas in a car to this day. You feel me? How many of y'all were ever out there and y'all were going somewhere and your mama, your auntie, your grandmama told you, man, y'all better lap up, and you was over there? This shit wasn't hardly no safe in no type of way. You was up in that bitch lapped up, no seatbelt on, no nothing. And then you allow people to tell you that you are ghetto. You are not ghetto. This shit is eternal. You feel me? This shit is in your blood. This is niggatry at its finest. Okay, it's in your blood. It's your birthright to be a real nigga. It was 25 to 30 niggas in dugout boats when he sailed in. The man telling you what he saw. We're going to continue. Okay, now, when they came into Gambia, right? My fault. I went forward too quick. Now, when they came into Gambia, all right, they was running back to the ship. Okay? When they came into Gambia, they was fucked up in the game. He saw all them niggas. He was like, oh, shit. What the fuck? And what it says right here in the book, it says that the tips of their arrows sent poison darting into the heart as fast as the pace of blood. It's right here in the book, goddammit, in my Levi voice. However, this was Catamoso. Alvis Catamoso is who we are talking about. Okay, this is the guy who came into the Gambia River on the ship deck. Looked out, he thought he was going to conquer the land. But it was some niggas who said, fuck that shit. All right? And they had arrows. That nigga Catamoso was running back to that ship faster than a motherfucker. You feel me? He was getting his motherfucking Forrest Gump on. Look at Forrest Gump right here in the bottom left-hand corner. All right? Are there any questions? Okay. Now, what they say was they saw a flotilla of boats that number 17. Flotilla is a fancy word of saying it was hella goddamn boats that they saw. All right. They saw hella boats. Okay. You know, they tried to go up the river and wind up running into a gang of boats. And they were all, this was like an African Navy force of niggas that was all up on their ass. You feel me? A Navy force of niggas. All up on that ass. They thought that they was gonna fake the funk. Niggas came down the hill with that motherfucking smoke, you feel? However, they ran into this African Navy force, right? And what it reads is that they said that it was a nigga that stood on the prow of each ship. Now, when you see this dude over here that look like Uncle Ben on this boat on your far right-hand side, that's the prow of the boat. It's the tip. You know, it's the tip of the boat. Okay. But they said that the boat, that they tried to go up the Nile, but it was niggas running up on their ass so motherfucking quickly. Excuse me. You know, the crap phone is going off. You know, people, they don't understand, and I'm up in this motherfucker philosophizing right now. However, okay, there were niggas on the prow of each boat, and they were dressed in their Navy gear, okay? They had white cotton shirts with white hats. If you look at with a feather in them, this is what they say. This is what they say. It's in the book. It's right here. It's in the book. All right. I'm gonna tell you where it said that. It's on page 54, first paragraph. It say we estimated an examination that there would be about 150 at most. They appeared very well built, exceedingly black, all clothed in white cotton shirt. Some of them wore small white caps on their heads, like the German style, except that on each side they had a white wing with a feather in the middle of the cap, as though it was distinguished a fighting man. A Negro stood at the prow of each boat with a round shield, apparent of leather, on his arm, and made no movement towards us, nor we toward them. Then they perceived the other two vessels coming up behind me and advanced towards them. Upon reaching them, without any further salute, they drew down their oars and began to shoot their arrows. This is what it said in the book. It said it was niggas standing on the tip of each boat. See, because I got to simplify it for y'all. I got to break this shit down on a GED level. It says it was niggas on the tip of each boat. This is what the book says. Real talk in my R. Kelly voice. This is how I look. However, any questions? No questions. We're moving on. This was in the year 1455. Okay? This was in the year 1455. Or, as they would say in England, they would say the year 1455, my lord. This was when it was. Now, why is this year important? This year is important because if we do any reading, we do any research, we do any studying, We know that 50 Cent came out with a television show called Power. Power was based out of the city of New York City, right? And it was a very good show, very low budget show, but it was a good show nonetheless. Number one show, it was actually the number two show on premium cable television. And when we say premium, we mean HBO, Cinemax, Stars, Showtime, uh, things like that. Now, the number one show was a show called Game of Thrones, to which the picture on the far left side is about Game of Thrones, okay? We see Cersei Lannister, we see Sansa Stark, we see Tyrion Lannister, we see Jon Snow, we see Bran Stark, and then we see Khaleesi, the mother of dragons. That is me telling you and examining who's in this picture from far left to far right, dear. Now, many people don't know unless you're a real big buff into the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is the number one show that was on premium. Now, Game of Thrones is a show that was centered around the War of the Roses that was being fought in England. Okay? One of the biggest things that they say about this show, and since we are in the middle of the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, is that they completely erased the history of black people out of the show. They almost made black people seem insignificant or like an afterthought. Now, we know that the show Game of Thrones films in Ireland. And as we learned in chapter 3, there were a Twa people, a Khoisan people, that inhabited Ireland. Even when you go over to Ireland, they have a bunch of pubs called the Black Boy after Prince Charles. However, the War of the Roses, okay, the royal flag of England, it has a lion. Okay? Lions are only indigenous to two places on earth: the Congo region of Africa and India. Lions have to be where the fuck it is hot at. Therefore, if there was no Negro influence up on the Game of Thrones, how did the English people have knowledge about the lion, an animal that is not indigenous to the Great Britain area? How? How the fuck did they do that? We got questions, we want answers. God damn it, I want my 40 acres and a mule. However, as we see right here, this is the year of 1455, my lord. And during this time, we are learning about some prominent Negroes. We are learning about some Negroes all the way over in Africa. The show Game of Thrones, the number one show on premium cable television, totally erased the history of Negroes. Okay? Were Negroes not around? Were they not thought of? Were they not relevant? What were Negroes doing? These are all questions that a reasonable mind must ask. So what we are going to do, with no further ado, we are going to get off into what it is that the Negro was doing during the year of 1455. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, get inside your seatbelts, and stay strapped in. Let's go on this ride. Okay. So, as we continue, we see that the Africans and Gambians had boats that they called water buses, and they used them to ferry goods back and forth. When the Portuguese encountered them, they had boats that were built on the principle of the galley boat. Now, wait just a goddamn minute, okay? Did this say Portuguese? Okay? Portugal is in Ireland. Again, why were there no niggas on the Game of Thrones? Somebody write HBO. The boots on the ground may have to do that. However, they were ferrying goods, man, back and forth, okay? And when they were ferrying these goods back and forth, they were going from one side and one place. Basically, they were doing national trading. This was import exports on this Raw's level. Okay, this is import exports on its finest level. All right. Now, again, we see this is built on the principle of the galley boat. The galley boat is right here in the middle. Okay, this is where they would store all of their stuff. Okay, they would store all of their stuff and they would transport it back and forth. Okay, this right here is an actual representation of how that was getting done during the days of ancient Kemet. However, we shall continue. Now, what is said is that these watercrafts were so sophisticated, or as they say in the projects of St. Louis, they were so sophisticated, you feel me, that they could ferry back and forth 12 tons. Okay, 12 tons. The boat was strong enough to carry 12 tons. We know a ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So they had watercraft that was efficient enough to deal with the violence of the water below, right? As we know that every foot of water weighs 60 cubic pounds, okay? So for every foot of water, you're flowing through 60 cubic pounds. All right. Now, these watercrafts, okay, they were called the songboats. And as we look to the far right, that is the definition, or that is a songboat. This is basically a boat that they have tied together with nothing more than a damn shoestring. They have tied the boat together with nothing more than a shoestring. All right. So, well, actually, it's nylon fiber, right? Or I'm sorry, not nylon fiber, but palm fibers. But it's the same shoestring concept that they use to basically weave the boat together and to build the boat. Okay, now when we take that, all right, now one of the people that they learned about boats from, okay, that they learned about everything from was the Sonomo people, all right? And what it says about the Sonomo people, it says that in the talking book of the 13th century, which records the oral tradition of the Mali Empire, during the reign of its founder, Sundiata, aka the Lion King, okay, it said we learned of a vast fishing fleet of Sonomo people who were also people of the Niger, who covered their river boats so that Sundiata's infantrymen, when returning home from Niani, we know Niani was the capital of Mali, okay? Niani was the capital of Mali. Okay, from their victory over Soso, they would not wet their feet. All right, so when we look at this first picture, this is an example of how they lined their boats up. So when the infantryman came home, then the infantrymen did not have to get their feet wet. They just stepped from boat to boat to boat to boat to boat to cross the river. All right. And this is them on the river. Okay. So now this is the Sonomo people. This guy right here is a modern day representation of the Sonomo. Now, again, these are nothing but a marine class tribe of people. Remember, when we always get this false equivocations saying that Black people all need to be on one page. They all need to be on one accord. They all need to be moving cohesively. That is a Euro Gentile way of thinking. Black folks have always been separated, okay, by tribes, okay? These are niggas right here. In Africa, your tribe was known for one thing, okay? They had the Sonomo people that are also a Bozo people. You feel me? Also a Bozo people, right? Now, the Bozo people, those weren't to be confused with Dana J's grandmama and aunties and shit, all right? Even though he's a bozo, these are like the real bozos. Not Bozo the clown, but Bozo the tribe. But we will learn about them and later on in this chapter, right? All right. Now, this is an example of the Sonomo people basically guarding the waters right here on this bottom left hand side. Okay. Now, all right. Now, the medieval prosperity enjoyed by the Western Sudanic markets thanks to the security maintained by the navies of Mali and Songhai. Now, as we know, Mali and Songhai and all of these, if you have been reading the book, then you would know that Mali basically took over. Mali was the preceding culture, the preceding dynasty of people prior to Songhai eventually conquering Mali and ending the Mali dynasty. All right. And, again, we have an example of how those navies used to roll back in the day right here. All right. This is how they used to roll back in the day. All right. Now, we found out that they were so sophisticated, okay? They had those Western Sudanic markets that we were just talking about. They had boats filled with ivory and grains and other commodities that would travel up and down the Niger River, okay? Thousands of miles away from the Atlantic, all the way over to the eastern border of the empire. So again, this is river commerce, okay? This is water commerce that's taking place here. This is way before, way before Christopher Columbus brought his sleazy, slimy ass over into Africa or over into the Caribbean talking about what the fuck he did. Christopher Columbus don't even come for another damn near 50 years. Think about that. Christopher Columbus not even coming for another 37, 40 years damn near. Think about that, y'all. Think about it. All right, now this is what they were trading right here. They were trading gold as well. But that's a whole nother topic. Now, we see right here that the Gulf of Guinea originates in the same mountains as the Senegal, and it created a channel of communication. All right? And this is how the Africans were able to link up with other fishermen folks and riverine traders all the way to the north of Atlantic. Okay? It was some traders that didn't go inland. Okay? So they would just come down here to the banks of the river. And it was other merchants who would take your stuff and go and hustle it. That's why Africans are hustlers to this day. Because they understood basic distribution. They are describing right here distribution, okay, of talking about import export goods, but this is river distribution, okay. This is the Gulf of Guinea, and on the left we have a depiction of the mountains of Senegal that basically created the channel for people to come in here on river boats and get their motherfucking hustle on. Okay? The Africans have always been some hustling motherfuckers. But let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. Now, there have always been myths, okay? There have always been myths, all right? Now, one of these myths is that is you see this Asian looking person who just magically crossed over the Bering Strait, okay? And I'm going to read you what the book actually says, okay? Let's see here. Is it right here? Okay, so it says this. Before one sets out to answer these questions, is it necessary to examine the prevailing myths about ancient boats in the sea, of which traditional historians and scholars have promoted and perpetuated these myths created by men who did not even trouble to inquire about basic facts of navigation and oceanography? Made it difficult in the past and made it difficult even today for the popular imagination to conceive a transoceanic crossing before Columbus. It is generally admitted that the first people to inhabit America were Mongols from Asia who came into this continent via Bering Straits some 40,000 years ago. The earliest dates suggested by even the most recent research, they came as Ice Age primitives and the barest rudiments of Asian culture across a large land bridge made possible by the weight of advancing ice sheets that buckled the Earth's surface, reducing the sea level by 300 feet. The bridge was a plane 1,000 miles long. As the ice retreated, the plane sank into the sea, reappearing about 25,000 years ago to form one more passage for wanderers from Asia. And after this second glacial epoch, America is assumed to have lived in total isolation from the rest of the world, to have developed its cultures independently until Columbus came. This latter assumption is a myth and has been seriously challenged, seriously enough to force second thoughts on conservative Americans within the last few years. So now, with that being said, these motherfuckers over on the far left side, these are the people who they are calling the Mongols. Okay? These are the people that they are calling the Mongols. All right. Now, you today call them the Indians. All right. And what you are seeing is a glacial epoch. And they are saying this is how you got niggas in America. Okay. They are really saying this is how you got the Indians. But we are going to stay within the scope of this book. This is how they're saying you got niggas in America. Any questions? Okay, we shall move on. Now, as it pertains to the next thing, it says that the people who came here, they didn't even have basic knowledge on how to steer a boat. These motherfuckers were lost. Okay? All right? They were lost. No direction. No sense. No knowledge. They had 8 to 9 pilots. Okay? They had 8 to 9 niggas giving direction for Christopher Columbus and them to get to America. And they still got lost. How you get lost with 9 niggas? Well, you know what? Let me not say that, because I've been a nigga a long time, y'all. And what you find out with niggas is if it's too many niggas giving directions, your ass is gonna be lost. Okay? So they couldn't even find the countries they were looking for. All right. They didn't have no nautical tools. These motherfuckers, how the fuck you go to sea? You ain't even got a goddamn compass. These motherfuckers are stupid. They did not know about longitude and latitude. They were seeking Japan, but hoping to hit India by chance. How the fuck do you go to Japan? You hoping to get to Japan? And you end up in America? Talk about a scenic route. Damn. You know everybody got that one uncle where he tell you going one place, nigga, you gotta stop by everybody in the city house before y'all get to where the fuck it was that y'all intentionally set out to go. They said they wanted to hit Japan, but India on the way. Okay, they didn't even have knowledge of longitude and latitude. What about that? Moving right on along. Now, the Chinese had knowledge of longitude and latitude in the year 100 BC. That means they at least knew about longitude and latitude over 2100 years ago. They knew about this before Christ. Listen, they knew about longitude and latitude before Jesus came. Look at how deep that is. Before Jesus, nigga? Man, before Jesus. The Spanish didn't know this when they went out to America. Okay? The black folks, they knew about this. But the Spanish, the Europeans, they didn't know about this. So again, ask yourself the question. How is it the Game of Thrones was the #1 television show on television? White people, tell your true history. Tell your true history. Don't tell the fairy tales. Because what we find out is that we learned about America when we went to grade school, or what they call grammar school. First grade, second grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. When we learn about things in school, we learn about them from the Europeans' point of view. Since the European told us that our history started with Columbus, there is no fucking way in hell the people that were fighting the War of the Roses could have been that smart. They did not know about longitude and latitude. I believe when I watched the Game of Thrones, I saw lines of longitude and latitude there. How? They did not know about this. The black man knew about this. The yellow man knew about this. Why is it that no one else knew about this? We're going to go on. We're going to see. We're going to see what's behind closed door #1. Okay. Now, they were inexperienced Marines. Okay? They were inexperienced. They didn't have any experience. To use a more basic understanding, to use something that we say more formally, these niggas didn't know shit. Or as my drunk uncle who likes to sip cognac says, these niggas was full of shit. They ain't know not a motherfucking thing. Nothing. Okay? Now, they ain't know how to look at the sun, how to read the sun, or nothing. All right? Now, they had the latrines. The latrine was a cell that was made by the Arabs, okay? As you see depicted here in this picture of this boat. Okay, that's the type of sail that the Everest made. And then this is a device right here. It looks very similar to a compass. It's called an astrolabe. All right, this was made by the Greeks, right? Halas. Okay, and it was refined by the Arabs. Again, this is all that Mediterranean basis. All right, this is all the Mediterranean basis here. Okay, now remember when we were just talking about the Black Irish? Hmm. 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 It gets deep, very deep. Okay, let's look at this. These were some people called the Formors. Okay, notice that word Moors. Okay, and then I'm going to break this down on a GED level because they do not like to give niggas credit for a motherfucking thing. All right, so what it says about the Formors is this. Ancient Irish mythology refers to the original inhabitants of the island as being a giant seafaring people called the Formors, which means the dark of the sea. Write that down. If you are jotting things down, write the dark of the sea. Write the Fomorians down. Okay. Now, it said that they are said to be of a Hamitic stock. These demons, they are portrayed as defeated. The first few incoming wave of invaders, but could not defeat the Furbolgs, which settled the land and lived side by side with the native Formors. Two more invasions, the first led by Guy Lee through Anna D. Danan, and the second by the Celtic Milesians, took control of Ireland, mixing the Fomorians until they were no more. Today it is regarded that these myths may to some extent be explaining actual history. My theory is that the Fomorians were a real people and that they were settlers from Africa, probably Negroid. I have three suspicions as to who they were exactly. Most likely is that they were Phoenicians. The Phoenicians were Canaanites, which came from the land of Ham. They were also well known for their sailing skills and are said to have traveled the British Islands. They are also called the Ten Islands, perhaps before Ireland was a Celtic domain, which it wasn't until a few centuries before the Christ era. The Phoenicians colonized it. The names of these two people even sound similar. Another idea is that they were the Tuareg Berbers. The Berber is a language that is Hamitic, and the Berber people live in an area which travel to Ireland could be easily accessible. The Berbers perhaps set sail from western Morocco and settled in Ireland before the Celts, making it their new home. Another Irish legend, similar to the Fomorians, tells of the Silkies, a sort of weird seal that is a seal during day, but a human by nightfall. Sometime an Irish family of fair skinned, light haired people, a child is born with dark hair and eyes, and skin is called silky. Think about that. And they turn back. I believe that those of present day Irish descent, including myself, an Irish American, have black roots, and that these futures can still be seen in the people and in the culture. In Southern Ireland, some people referred to as Black Irish or noticed by their strikingly dark features, as opposed to the fair skinned, light haired North. Although I have pale skin that does not tan well under the sun, I do have negroid facial features as well as dark brown eyes and dark brown hair. That is sort of kinky, especially in moist conditions. There's also a Cerberus island called the Bren. It's said to be an original Irish stock, which has Mediterranean features. In addition to all this, Celtic music is distinctly different from the rest of Europe and comparable to the African music. However, let's just go ahead and stop this right here. And I'm going to say this, right? If you want to know who the four Moors are, look into your life today. All right. And basically, what happens in your life today is that even to this day, white people do not take L's laying down. All right. They don't take L's laying down. All right. Now, if you know anything about Ireland, Ireland is very close to England. All right. Very close to either. And that Northern European shit, that's all one click together. Now, when white people got their ass whooped, they always call it something else, okay? They got their ass whooped by niggas. Whenever folks got their ass whooped by niggas, they called it a rebellion. Who are these niggas to whoop our ass? All right, but the reality of the situation is that they say that these people are magical niggas. These are just black people that came into Ireland. Okay, they say that they are gods. They give them godlike power. These are just regular niggas. You have to remember that during this time when these black people came in, they were going through a dark period. This was called the medieval period in Europe. So if you see some niggas come in off of a boat, okay, and then they got bread and food and water, they take you, clean you up, give you soap and shit like that, you probably gonna tend to think about them as being godlike, okay? But they aren't gods, you feel me? They are just explaining them this way so that they are laughed about, they can laugh it off, because they are very tight in the ass about this, okay? This is the reason why you have St. Patrick's Day. Okay, St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland. Okay, but there were a group of Moors called the serpents. The signal of the serpent was the snake. All right, so you see why they say that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, meaning he killed off and maimed the black people that were still in the region. All right, now it's a book. I think it's called White Cargo. And it talks about how there were white people that were the Irish folks that were on the slave plantations in Jamaica. Now, if you go and listen to the Jamaican drawl and you listen closely to an Irish accent, you will see that the Jamaicans and the Irish folks, they got very similar cadences to their voices, and they got pretty much the same type of drawl. But I say all of that to say that the Fomorians, those were a real group of people that they like to overlook. And that's just my interpretation. Again, you have to read this closely. You have to read your history and break it down from a Negro's point of view. Continuing. Now, these were the Twa people who migrated to Ireland over 10,000 years ago. Okay, this is the same tribe of folks right here on the left-hand side that Nelson Mandela comes from. Okay, these people are also called the Khoisan people. All right. Whenever you see like that nice green mossy type of look, now you know that moss and shit only grows in the north. It's Ireland that you're looking at when you see that. Okay? They occupied Ireland, but they also occupied Tory Island. The word Fomorian means four more, aka blacks of the sea. These people are falsely thought to be an alien race by elementary white scholar because during this time they were recognized as God and depicted as God. That came out of the book. All right, take a good look at the Twa people, aka the Khoisan people. This is the same people that talk in that click language that General Wishbone loves so much. Moving on. Now, these are pictures of black people being depicted as gods. Okay? These are photos of blacks being depicted as gods. All right, now these people over here on the far left, on the farthest left side of the screen, these are actual black people. Right here, you see the Black Madonna and Child. Okay, you see the Black Madonna and Child, not to be confused with Prima Thada. This is the real Madonna. Okay, this is the real Madonna. Okay, these are images of black people being depicted as gods. Okay, now these are the aristocratic blacks. Okay, these are black people that were in Europe who were of the aristocracy. These are rich black people. These are well-to-do black people. These are black people with money. All right. See how this dude got on the MC Hammer pants and got his leg kicked up? Money make niggas do strange things, y'all. It's all about the dollar bill, man. You feel me? All right. Now, moving right on along. Again, these are black deities, y'all. These are black deities. I want y'all to take this in, inhale this, digest this. Don't these motherfuckers over here on the far left side, don't this look like the Jackson family? Y'all see baby Michael right here? Do y'all see baby Michael right here? Okay, Google, play I Want to Be There by the Jackson 5.
Okay, I'll Be There by Michael Jackson. Here it is on YouTube Music.
Okay, pause, nigga, you fucking up. All right, now, these motherfuckers over here, man, these are like Michael Jackson or Prince. Hell, this fuck around, this look like the family DeBarge over here on the left. These are black deities in Europe. It's a black depiction of Jesus. This black depiction of Jesus, don't this nigga look like Nipsey Hussle a little bit? Just a little bit. Now, it's a guy by the name of Thor Heyerdahl. I tried to show y'all his video. I tried to do a film study of it. YouTube won't allow me to live stream it. Ain't that a bitch? But if you go over to the Patreon, if y'all are Patreon members, which I believe a lot of y'all are, you'll see that the Ra expeditions are over there. Now, these are his boats. These are the two boats he built. This is the Ra 1 and the Ra 2. Okay? You see Ra 1, okay? And then you see Ra 2. These are two boats that he built on the ancient African principles. This Thor Heyerdahl was a guy who sailed from from Egypt, no, from the west coast of Africa to America, I believe in the year 1962. Okay? I believe in the year 1962. All right? These are two boats that he created, right? Now, the Ra 1 failed. Okay? The Ra 1 didn't make it. Okay? But Ra 2 made it. All right? When Ra 1, he got over there, he fucked up the building of it. So he had to go back and he had to find some real niggas. He had to go find some throwback niggas. He had to go find Uncle Charles Jones and them that Bone Thugs was talking about. Okay? He had to go find Uncle Charles Jones, y'all. Then that's when he came back for Raw 2. Okay? Now, when he came back with Raw 2, you see, right here, this basically explains what happened, okay? So, what happened to him is On Ra 1, when you look at this chart right here, you see that Ra 1 felt when he got hit with what they call the South Equatorial Current. Okay, so this is 1969 and 1970 when he made these trips. All right, this is when he made these trips. Okay, so Ra 1 got tore up. It got washed out in this current they call the South Equatorial Current or the Grand Canary. No, this is the South Equatorial Current, or what they call the Guani Current. Okay, the Guani Current. This is what he's doing. Okay, he got fucked up when he ran into that, so his boat wasn't built good enough to make it there. That's the boat Ra 1. Now, Ra 2, he went back and re-engineered the boat and made it the right way. And as we see right here on the left, this is him on sea with Ra 2. All right. He's out on sea with Ra 2. Now, Ra 2 is what they call a reed boat. This boat is quite literally made out of paper. They harden the paper up. It's made out of what they call papyri reeds or papyrus reeds, okay? And they take this stuff, they draw it all the way out, they twist it up, and then they tie it up, and then they use that for a boat. These boats could last you like 3 to 4 months. They have to be rebuilt because, hey, it's not going to last for forever. But these are boats. These are what the ancient Egyptians use. Okay. Now, this is Thor Heyerdahl taking this Ra 2 boat and landing in South America. This is him pulling into a port in South America. Now, as we see right here on this bottom hand picture on the first picture on the bottom, right? This first picture over here in this bottom left corner, right? This is him. This is these folks actually sinking with Ra 1. Okay, this is him sinking with Ra 1. But these are the expeditions of Thor Heyerdahl, somebody who took the ancient Egyptian principles and built their own boats and traveled to America. Okay, these are straight out of his books called the Ra Expeditions. All right, so this is how the book on the bottom left hand side. This is how the boat looks up close. Okay, then you see it right here. You see right there. You see Thor Heyerdahl right here on the CV. Okay, that's Thor Heyerdahl. And on the bottom left hand side, you see the breed boat. You get a look to see how big it was, how big they built it. All right. Now, he actually had a stamp. Okay, he had a stamp written about him. Okay. Now, you see right here in January 1971. They had this book that's called the National Geographic, and National Geographic, they did a whole cover story about him in January of 1971. This is Thor Heyerdahl's expeditions. They were documented. All right, now these are his books. He wrote a few books about it. The Ra expeditions. He was born in Norway in 1914. After studying at the university, he went on to become a basic philanthropist or a historian, and he built boats and he sailed across the sea. He was a historian, bro. He did a lot of work, and it tells you the dimensions that he built. He built Ra on. He said it was 40 feet long, 16 feet wide, 6 feet deep, and it had a 12 by 9 foot cabin. And it was made from papyrus reeds and a source from the Chad. So it tells you basically how they did it. So from May 17th to July 14th, that's how long it took him to reach America. from the coast of Africa. So a little under 2 months. Think about that. All right. Now, if y'all know anything about the pyramids, then you will know something about this brother right here. See, this is a nigga. This why they blew his nose off. See, a small dude by the name of Napoleon Bonaparte had a lot of little dick energy. All right. And what Napoleon Bonaparte did was when he went around and he saw the history of niggas in the world, he blew their noses off. He blew the noses off of the statues, y'all. He blew the ears off. He blew off anything that could resemble that these were niggas who did that. But our niggerdom is eternal. He cannot erase it, y'all. That's something he can't do. So what did he do? Some things he had to leave. But this nigga goes by the name of Khufu. Now y'all know Khufu is a nigga's name. Y'all know Khufu is a nigga's name. Come on, man. My auntie Terry, she got a daughter right now. Love her to death. She got a daughter named Khufu. On everything I love. This brother's name is Khufu. All right? And this is Khufu's boat. This was in the pyramids when they found it, y'all. It was all broken to pieces and shit. They had to put it back together. But this was in the pyramids when they found it. Before they raped and pillaged the pyramids and they tore this motherfucker up, this is how the boat looked. You feel me? They had to reconstruct it. But this is the boat of Khufu right here. Now, we see right here that this boat would not have made it. This is what the book tells us, people. It says that this boat that he has right here, no matter how nice it looks, it would not have made it. The aerodynamics of it is all wrong. It won't be able to breathe. And then it wouldn't, with all of this hard wood on here and the way that it's fixed and mounted together, it could not have survived the slapping forces and the violent forces of the ocean. This is what the book teaches us. Okay. So, any questions? Moving right on along. Now, when the original people who were the scientists that wanted to argue about why the Egyptians could not have made it to America, or the Africans could not have made it to America, some of the theories that they offered were things such as saying, that water, that reed boat, those potpourri reeds, they would fall apart under the construction of under this current construction, that would get wet and the boat would dismantle itself. Okay? It was basically saying that it was no test. Now, what they did was they put loosely fitting undried reeds together. And with those reeds, then that's how the European scientists who want to dominate history, that is how they presented it. Okay? Now, with this papyrus plant, he went in and he constructed his own ships. The guy Thor Heyerdahl. He went to Lake Chad, right? As we see up here with Lake Chad. Now, what Ivan Van Sertima, the author of the book, says is that they gave him bullshit materials and then they tested his shit up, but they would not take the scrap metal off of Queen Mary. They wouldn't remove any of the metal support beams from Queen Mary. That's the comparison that he gave. That's why Queen Mary is right there, y'all. But in order for him to do it right, he had to go find the old boat builders from Lake Chad. People that still built on the principles of the Egyptians. So he went to Lake Chad. He found the niggas who knew how to do it right. He found the right type of pottery reeds or papyrus plants. He dried those out, and then he went for round two. Now, after Ra 1 crash, he got this is how he got his team. He got the bozo people. Now you see this nigga right here. He's dark. He's dark. You feel me? This is right here, ladies. This brother right here. He ain't playing no games. When women say they love a chocolate nigga, you don't get no blacker than him. All right, ladies. He went and found niggas that got some ancient knowledge. You see how black this nigga is on the left? Don't he look like he got some ancient knowledge? They went and found niggas from his tribe, y'all. These are the people. Okay? We see Ra 1 crashing over here on the bottom right-hand side. Because a white man could not do something that is internal to niggas. He had to go and assemble niggas, y'all. Negroes. That's how he got his shit built right. I am not filibustering. I'm simply telling you what the book says. Okay? This is an example of the people who he went to go get. He went to go get the people that were, shipbuilders. Okay? This is who he went to go get. He went bullshitting. He wasn't fucking around. Now, never mind this fact that these people all look like Bruce Lee and shit. These were Africans, man, but it's hard to find good images of what you need. They always like to talk about Egypt after the invaders came in. All right? Let's go on. Now, the Egyptians built plank boats prior to building the papyrus boats. Okay. Now this is a plank boat. What you were seeing over here, these two depictions on the left hand side of the screen, these are plank boats. Okay. This is what a plank boat is. Now, and they would basically sail back and forth across Lake Chad. This is what they would do with these types of boats. Now, it was the pharaoh by the name of Sneferu. Black folks got some names, don't they? This nigga's name was Sneferu. Sneferu was the first king of the 4th dynasty of Egypt. He had several sons who were buried near his pyramids. But it was his youngest, Khufu, who inherited his throne and built the biggest pyramid of all time. He made 63 quatrains 100 feet long. The following year, built 3 with a bow tied to a stern measurement of 170 feet. This above him is an example of the boat that his son Khufu, the nigga that we just saw, this is the boat that he had built for his dad. Okay? This is an example of the boat that he had built for his father, y'all. Come on now, keep up with me. And I just want to let y'all know that these slides will be over on Patreon after this. I'm going to have to break them down into 4 separate parts because this whole PowerPoint presentation is about 600 megabytes. So, it's a 200 meg limit over there. So I'm going to break it down into 3 or 4 separate parts, 15 slides per part. Now, moving right on along. Now, the Egyptians, they build off of several different principles, okay? And when they were building these boats, right? Now, you see this is a wooden boat, okay? Now, look, they would go and get their building materials from the Phoenicians, right? And there were major ports in Phoenicia, basically where they could go and get wood from. So you see right here, they would go and get this Lebanese wood. This was the wood of the sycamore tree. Okay, and this was needed, for its fig fruit. So it couldn't be cut down for bows without special permission. Now, when you look at this Lebanese wood, right, this wood is very important, especially to some Africans, because they didn't have all of the trees like what we got in North America. They had to basically go over to the Phoenicians, and as we learned, the Phoenicians were already doing river and sea commerce. Okay, so they was bringing in these fine woods that they could make shit out of. All right, and then they would go over to Biblios, right, or Biblos. This is where we get the term Bible from. It comes from the town of Biblos, Bible. Okay, now look at Lebanon. They were going to Lebanon getting this wood, and this wood was coming from the cedar tree. Okay, the cedar tree out there, right? That's where the wood was coming from. Continuing. Now at the port of Biblios, they had all types of shit, all types of motherfucking things. This is the port of the Biblios, right? Y'all see it? Y'all see how beautiful it look? It look nice. Shit make you want to go there. I need a vacation. That's how you feel when you looking at the port of Biblios right now. You feel me? I want to take some hot over there and walk around there, booed up, grabbing asses. You know me. I'm a special type of Negro. However, moving on home. They would get embalming fluid, right? You see this nigga with this dog head mask on? You see this nigga with this dog head mask? That's called Anubis, right? That's the depiction of a guy by the name of Anubis, y'all. They would get the wood that they would use for coffins. And then they would get furniture of every type. Shit, they would even get wine in that motherfucker. You feel me? Y'all be mad at me for sipping my yak. God damn it. The Egyptians taught a nigga how to sip that yak, though, y'all. Look. Do y'all see this? This is what they was doing over there in that port of Biblios. It was a nigga who was a storyteller. He dropped off a storybook to these niggas. They winded up calling it the Bible. That's how deep this shit is, y'all. Continuing. The Egyptians took some shit over there too. Now again, disregard these niggas over here on the far right hand side. Just look at how they are dressed. Look at their shields. That's what I want to highlight and bring attention to. Please don't look at the skin complexion, because they always like to show the Egyptians as this race of Europeans, but they ain't. Anybody can look and see that Egypt is in Africa, white folks. However, they would trade fine golds and metals. They would trade paper. They would use their trading vessels. And this is how they would roll up. This is what they would roll up. This is how they were pulling up on them Phoenicians. Everybody got a cousin or an uncle that stunt too hard. Think he a Mac boss player. Nigga really ain't shit. You feel me? You got an uncle who just won't let it go. And then you got some cousins where, everybody got the extra ass cousin. Okay? Everybody got that extra ass cousin. The Egyptians were them extra ass cousins, man. You see these niggas, they was rolling up in gold and diamonds and Bentleys. These niggas, even back in millennia, back in ancient times, these niggas was rolling up with boats with doves on them. God damn it. However, Nigga got on a little bootsy chain down here. This is what the fuck they was trading. This is the reason why come black folks fucked up right now. We was stunned too hard when we was on. Oh, some niggas don't know nothing about modesty. They say modesty is for white folks. Or so we say. But continuing. Take us to the bridge. Y'all want me to take y'all to the bridge? Oh, shit. Hold on. We got about 20 more slides to go. Strap in because we going there. I'm going to take y'all to the bridge for it's over. God damn it. Continuing. The Egyptians bought gifts in return for resin and planks of timber. They bought amulets. Shit. How many hood rats you know that got a tattoo that look like this amulet right here? See a lot of strippers with this shit. These amulets, okay? You see this resin. If y'all don't know what resin is basically when you break a plant down all the way to the dust, okay? And you bleed the plant for the most essential thing that is in the plant. The residue of the most essential pieces or the most essential makeup of the plant. And then you got jewelry, right? This is what they were getting. They had alabaster vases. That's just pottery, y'all. This is vase. But it was made out of alabaster. Now I had to take this. This is me. I want to give y'all a little example of what the book was talking about. All right. This is what they were trading. This is what the African was trading. They wasn't worried about no goddamn white man. Shit. You feel? However, as we can see, all right, they had dynasties. And then they had the 18th and 19th dynasty. Okay. The 18th and 19th dynasty. All right. The 18th dynasty navy was from Egyptian and Asiatic, mostly from Palestine, Syria, and Libya. And in the 19th, they had a fine royal navy with several merchant ships. Okay, but these are black people being depicted in a navy force. Okay? This is a navy force, y'all. Take a good look at this imagery. This is it. This is it. Come on, man. Somebody told me I don't have content. You feel me? The haters came over here, y'all. They said I ain't got content. This is like content to me. Because we ain't even done. We only 60% of the way through this. So I'm going to bring this shit home. I'm going to take y'all to the bridge. Now, the inscriptions that were on the tomb of the pharaoh Menes at Abydos in the fleet of Hatshepsut show where the boats were. The Phoenicians, which were Africans, they were more superior in their ability to move around, right? In their ability to work waterways. They were more superior, more sophisticated. Phoenicia is in Europe, okay? And so quite naturally they would be better because, again, in Africa, you don't have jungles, okay? You don't have jungles in Africa. You have them in South America, but Africa is mostly flat land. It's grassland. You got bushes. You got bushes in Africa, but you don't have jungle in Africa. No. Now, if you got jungle, you can go into a jungle and cut down a tree and create trees. So, of course, the Phoenicians, who were a mixed race of black people, they are going to be a far superior traveler because you get to intertwine and you get to mix things that the Africans may not have mixed with because they were in a hot region, okay? You don't really need anything outside of Africa. Now, God said, I will not leave you, neither will I forsake you. Come on now. He said, I will not leave you, neither will I forsake you. All right? He ain't put you in Africa for you to need to go someplace else in order to get your shit. Okay? But people be disobedient to the word. And they started going other places. And this is how the Phoenicians, our light-skinned stepbrothers, y'all, became a more superior mariner than we were. Okay? They had more travel. They were on the Mediterranean. So they were intertwining with the cultures of Greek, the Asian cultures, the Indian cultures, all of that. They were intertwining. All right? Moving right on along. Now we reached this guy, right? We reached this guy named King Sahur. Then they say that there was a persistent influence of ancient models on boats of the Upper Nile and the Sudan. The Song Bank plank boats resembled the Egyptian boat of King Sahur, right? Now, speaking of niggas from Baltimore, we got my nigga Weebay from The Wire. Now, Weebay, this King Sahur dude, don't he look just like Weebay, y'all? He look just like Weebay, man. This shit is crazy. Now, the thing that I like, right, about Weebay was a motherfucking gangster. Y'all remember when we saw The Wire, y'all, or if you watched The Wire, when they finally had caught Weebay for all them murders, and they was sitting down, they was cross-examining him. Weebay sat right there like a motherfucking gangster. Weebay told him, man, listen, for a hamburger and some fries, nigga, I'll tell y'all about all these motherfucking bodies, nigga. He knew he wasn't going home. This nigga started confessing to all bodies. Don't this King Sahur dude look just like Weebay to y'all, man? He look like Weebay to me, man. He look like Weebay. Moving right on along. Now, there's something called the Black Stream. Now, remember when we were talking about those Mongols earlier, right? We were talking about the Mongols earlier. And they were talking about how you get these people, how black folks get all these different looks, and the Indians and all of that stuff, there was something called the Black Stream. And the Black Stream is a Pacific current at the terminal point on the Pacific coast of North America. And there's a tiny African community called the Black Californians. All right. Now you see a real life picture there at the top of the the Black Californians. Okay. You see it, right? Now, if we look deeply right here in the middle of our screen, we see something that they call the North Pacific current, but it's really called the Kuroshio current, y'all. All right, my bad. I'm ripping up Laffy Tappies and shit all up in y'all ear. I promise you. I'm done. All right, now, this is the Kuroshio current. All right, now, this was taking the black people because we know that the first Buddhists over in China were African men. We know that the first Buddhists over in China were African men. So when we get this Kuroshio current coming off of the east coast of Asia, and we see that it flows right into Canada, into California, would that explain how we got black people called the Californians? Look at these niggas, y'all. Don't these niggas look like Bone Thugs and Harmony, y'all? Okay, Google, play Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Thuggish Ruggish Bone by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Sure. Playing on YouTube Music.
We're not against rap. We're not against rap.
Okay.
But
Don't.
we're against those thugs.
These niggas right here in these pictures, these motherfuckers look like the Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Alright, I gotta play a little music for them. The Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Yeah. These niggas is Bone Thugs and Harmony down here on your bottom left hand corner now. Okay, Google, pause. Moving right on along. Now, this right here, there was a group of what they call Bantu Islamic people of the Swahili. And these people use ships to go and take an elephant to the emperor of China as a gift. And we can see some of the routes that the Swahili people use to go over into these places. Imagine that. They carry the big ass elephants. Look at that. Moving along. Now, some vessels weighed as much as 70 tons. And they were larger than the one showed at Fort Jesus of Mombasa in Kenya. And these were the ones commonly used in Indian Ocean trading. They didn't have metal clinching, so they had palm fiber lashing, right? Now, this is these people doing Indian trading right here. This picture behind Indian Ocean trading is the picture that's behind the text. All right. Then you see the palm fiber lacings over here on the left top. These were the sailboats that they used. This is an image of the boat that they used. And then at the bottom, we see the Mombasa Museum in Kenya. This is Mombasa, Kenya. Okay. Now, if you ever go on a tour to Kenya, make sure you stop by here. Go and see this. This is your history, black folks. Now, These are what the Arab called the doughboats on the top left. Okay. Now the Swahili had a smaller version of the doughboat. It was called the Mtepe, right? That's the Mtepe that you see on the top right hand side. Okay. That's the Swahili version. It was a smaller boat than the dough. Okay. But they were basically kind of the same concept. One supersized, the other one is smaller. Okay. Now, then when you see right here, with the Mtepe and the dough boats, they had the ability to go from sailboat to oar boat, from oar to sail, and they could be twice as effective when sailing. Okay, when you have a sailboat, you are totally wind dependent. Okay, you totally dependent upon the wind. All right, if the wind don't blow, your ass don't move. All right. So one of the major things, or major issues that was being brought up, was the fact that these boats, they were too small. And then over here on the bottom right, you see the caravel, which was basically the ship that Columbus used to travel to America. All right. So you see this, the caravel. You see how the caravel is used. Or the caravel is a boat. They don't have no oars. They don't have anything. It's basically a bullshit ship. That's a major point that Ivan Van Sertima harps on in the book. It's a bullshit ship, right? If we look at the engineering of this boat right here on the bottom right hand side, we see that you can't really paddle the motherfucker. And the problem that it creates is that it's just going to be dead in the wind. Like if you catch a nice good wind that could push your boat and basically drag you, then you're good. But if there's no wind moving, your ass just sitting right there in the middle of the sea. And this is the problem. Whereas on these dough boats and on these Mtepe boats, you can switch to the oar, but these things are more aerodynamic and they're more agile. They could turn on a pivot. Okay. Now, what we see right here is that they said Columbus couldn't stay on path with the currents. His dependence on wind made him put him in a place of stasis. He writes about this. This is what he faced on his fourth voyage, right? And then we see this caravan just basically sitting right there in the middle of the sea because they were stuck at port. Right? They would be stuck at port for like 8 months at a time, y'all. These motherfucking people were so goddamn dumb that they were stuck at port for 8 months at a time. Then we see right here, this is the actual letter that he wrote home. Okay, this is a letter that he wrote home. This is July 7th, 1503. He writes about this at a letter. Continuing. Now, he was stuck on his fourth voyage, right? His bow ties were broken. His bow lines were broken. And again, it goes on to reiterate basically what I told you. Then the boats that they had couldn't work against the currents, okay? You see the currents of the sea behind these photos? Okay, the boats that they had were not equipped enough to fight against the currents of the sea. All right? So you see those strong ass currents that are splashing. They didn't have anything that could fuck with that. All right? And then they will be docked for 8 months at a time, y'all. Think about that. We're moving right on along. Now, the Reed boat was more aerodynamic and better equipped to navigate to America in a shorter amount of time than the caravel due to the wind dependence. That's what I said. Okay, now, one thing that you can see about these Reed boats is that this Reed boat, it has the ability for wind to go through it. So when we're talking about aerodynamics, it's not just a piece of basic wood that's just sitting there waiting to be ported out. Okay, the reed boat, the reed boat, it has the ability for air to go in it, go underneath it, go through it, whatever. And then it has a more agile concept. It was better engineered. These dumbass Spaniards and Portuguese didn't even know how to fucking engineer a caravel, man. They didn't know how to engineer a boat. Now, Amerigo Vespucci, the person that America is named after, in the 15th century, it took him 64 days to make it from Cape Verde, what they see right here as Cabo Verde. Okay, it took him 64 days to make it to America on one of those boats. This is him catching a nice current and riding it in. Okay. Now, this guy named Hans Lindemann, he was a German medical doctor. He had a dugout boat or a dugout canoe. This is basically the same hollowed out tree boat that we saw earlier in the chapter. Now, he made it to America in 52 days. With a smaller boat, he made it to America in 52 days. And this is basically debunking a lot of the lies that were told by people who said that it couldn't be done, that the crafts were too small. Now, of course, this is a white man, but he was using one of the African dugout boats. Now, the wind sail was created 6,000 years before the steamboat, but the steamboat could not have the same agility that a wind sail could have. It couldn't do it, all right? It could not do it, all right? The steamboat, it could move faster. It was more powerful, but it did not have the same agility. It didn't have the same power that a sailboat could have. And even with these people with Columbus using the sailboats, they still found a way and managed to fuck that up. The Spanish caravel was limited with its range of motion compared to the smaller dugout boats that could travel faster. Again, you see Africans on the dugout boats, you see a Spanish caravel, self-explanatory. Now, in pre-Columbian times, there were Arabian boats that was big in size, but this big size boat put a greater stress on the boat from the winds and the waves that it would cause. See, a little bitty boat, yeah, you put that stuff on there, but I'm right through it. You feel me? I'm right through it. Okay? Now, we wind it down. I'm getting ready to take y'all to the bridge. Now, this is a guy by the name of Dr. Alain Bombard. All right? And Dr. Alain Bombard, or Bombard, sailed from Casablanca, which is basically Morocco. And he made it to Barbados in 1952. And he set out. He didn't have nothing. He didn't take many things with him. He was bereft of all the necessities. He had a life raft, because sometimes when you are doing something, there are going to be many detractors in the mix. But he set out following his mind, the mind that nobody else gave him, y'all. And he said, I'm going to get on this life raft, and I'm going to go for what I know. He ain't have no food. He ain't have no water. Because some folks say that you can't survive without food and water, but he figured out a way to drain the water out of a fish and drink that for 50 plus days, y'all. And he sailed all the way from Casablanca to Barbados with no food and no water and only minor fishing. Now, they say that your body can survive without food and only water for up to 50 days. Now you see the lady right here, she had no food. She went on a water fast for 50 days. So they say your body can survive if water is available. Okay? So there's a bunch of people that tell you can't do something when you probably can. All right? Oh, did I move too fast? Okay, I moved. All right, now. Casablanca wasn't going with the wind because Casablanca, let me take you back over here. Casablanca was in Morocco. That shit wasn't in New York, First Lieutenant. It wasn't in New York, all right? Casablanca was right here. It was where Alain Bombard set sail from, all right? It was over in Morocco, all right? Now, we get this guy by the name of Alvarez Cabral. Now, many historians contest that Africans could accidentally drift into America. However, Pedro Cabral, founder of Brazil, saw that if trapped in the middle of the Atlantic, you would accidentally hit the coast of South America. All right? Depicted here in the red outline is the coast of South America. And this was the line for the orders of Tordesillas. Okay, Tordesillas. Now, when they hit this coastline, this drew them straight into Brazil, right? Now, Brazil, this is the reason why come the people speak patois. Okay, they don't speak Portuguese, they speak patois. Now, we know that as we learn from all of the other places in America or all the other places in the world that the white man had never touched, when they got there, they took over. And they started naming shit. Okay? They started renaming shit. What was wrong with the first name? God damn it. When this white man came over here and took over some stuff black folks was already at. We learned about that in chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. God damn it. However, let me go ahead and, I'm going to take my time with this. I'm almost done, y'all. But bear with me. I'm almost done. Now, it was a guy by the name of Alexander von Humboldt. And in his examined critique, he said that Pedro Alvarez, who Don Manuel sent to track Vasco da Gama in the Indies, tried to avoid the Gulf of Guinea and landed on the shores of Brazil. He was up Schitt's Creek with his head up his ass without a paddle. Again, none of these motherfuckers had a compass because they should have been knowing they was going the wrong way. These gotta be the dumbest fucking bumbling set of idiots ever. Now, the Guinea current and the Canary current creates the Gulf Stream. That Gulf Stream pulls you right into South America. It pulls you right into the islands, pulls you right into Barbados. And with that Gulf Stream acts as a propeller and a pilot. It's going to take you where you need to go. It's going to take you exactly where you need to go. This is how you get that. Now, the Canary current coming out of North Africa is how Albuquerque sailed from Africa to South America. Okay, we know our Albuquerque, that was Mansa Musa's daddy. Albuquerque II, we know that's Mansa Musa's daddy. Okay. This was no, hold on. I'm sorry. I believe that Abakari is not his daddy. I think that that's his brother. I misspoke. Abakari II was his brother's. This is Mansa Musa's brother. But that's how he got to South America. So before this motherfucker went in and started naming shit, we know that Mansa Musa's big brother was already over there. God damn it. Now, they went and found the Mandinka people. Ladies, y'all like some Mendigos. They call them long strokers. Long diggers. You feel me? These are the Mandinko people. Okay? And what the Mandinko people did was, the Mandinko people, not only did they know how to navigate through the desert by using astronomy, tracking the stars, tracking wind direction, tracking other things that they used those same principles to navigate the sea. They called the Sahara Desert, they called it the Sandy Sea. They were able to navigate through the Sahara Desert with ease. So why would it be far-fetched that these same people could navigate through any place else with using the same skills, the same nautical skills? Now, it was a Muslim man by the name of Al-Khwalashanti and Masalik al-Abasar. And they question, with all the empirical knowledge of philanthropy, why is it hard to believe that these people navigated to America with their supreme knowledge? All right. So that's it, y'all. That's it. You feel me? Let me go ahead and open up the phone lines and see if y'all got any questions. See if y'all got any questions. If y'all got any questions, anybody got any questions about the chapter? I love it too. I love it too. Thank you. This is an exclusive right here, y'all. If y'all got any questions, go ahead and hit the call in. Okay? Go ahead and hit the call in. Do the Mandinko people still exist? Under the name of the Mandinkos, yeah. I mean, the Mandinko people, they still exist. I mean, a lot of these people, they get tied into being Nigerian or Ghanaian or other places. Now, she wanna know about that long thing-a-lang. You feel me? She wants to know about that long thing-a-lang. Shit, you ain't asking that for no friend. You asking that for yourself. Y'all nasty motherfuckers. Boy. Y'all are some nasty with it, boy. Listen. Again, man, if y'all got any questions, man, y'all more than welcome to call in with your questions. You feel me? Now, again, balls deep. My
Call from Tick.
yeah, what's good, bro?
What's up, Trent?
What's happening, bro?
Nice show, man.
Mm-hmm.
You being a former, member of the armed forces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the current map that is being used, all the landmarks that exist,
You say what now?
the current map that we use,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you think that these are all the land masses that exist? In the Americas, the Europe, Africa, um, the continents that we currently use on the maps that we have. Do you think that these are the only land masses that exist?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that there are other things that exist. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm quite certain of it. You know, again, due to different positions and stuff like that that I held, I can't really go into, speaking deeply on it. But yeah, I know that that there are other things that exist.
Yeah, I think that the circumnavigating of the Earth, um, that it started with our people, and I think that they basically discovered every area on this planet.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
and I think that we have been lied to, and is the information that we've been given about the land masses that currently exist.
mm-hmm.
You're familiar with Project High Jump, right?
You say what now?
You familiar with Project High Jump?
The high jump? What do you ask?
Project High Jump. Project High Jump. You familiar with it?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's some expedition there was to try to go past the ice barrier in Antarctica, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the planes would just not would just won't go over the barrier.
Mm. No, I mean, bro,
Yeah,
I've never heard of.
yeah, man, you should look it up. Project High Jump.
Let me see about that. Let me look
We,
into it.
and it's believed that the guys saw another landmass with greenery, and it's well documented. You could find videos on it on YouTube.
Okay, high jump,
Um,
Antarctica. This during the Cold
Project
War
High.
era. Yeah. This is bro, this is I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the documentation.
Yeah, I think yeah, man.
Let me see here. Antarctica.
Is it,
Well, I mean, now I'm familiar with this. This is Antarctica. I mean, this is said uh shit.
there's this Antarctic treaty going on where the nations of the world have agreed to not have any fighting in Antarctica, not to. There are certain things that they agreed to the Antarctic Treaty.
No, I mean, again, bro, Hitler, you know, Hitler was basically he took his fleet and he went down to Antarctica because he knew about that from the Americans, bro. But this high jump, this seems like this is to my understanding, this is where Hitler fleed to Antarctica, because this is all around that time of Hitler, that 1944, all of that.
Yeah, it's believed that Hitler went down there and was hiding there.
You say what now?
It's believed that Hitler went down there and he was hiding in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but
that's really cool. The Cold War era.
Now, what's your next question, brother?
That's about it, you know. But good show, man.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, definitely. Are you a member of the book club?
Tell me more about the book club. I already mentioned it on your. I never went in depth on it.
You say you're not in the book club?
No. Tell me about the book club.
The book club, bro, we are reading this book right here. This is Nestor, okay? We're reading this book right here. It's called They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima.
Ivan Van Sertima?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I have that book.
Yeah, man, this is what we're reading right now. You know, the next book is going to be
called
Amongst the Quetzalcoatlus. Yeah, this is going to be. It might take me a while to get done with this chapter as well. Hold on. 72 or 17 pages. It's gonna, you know, man. We gonna go through these whole books. We gonna put them together.
Good stuff, man.
Together.
All right, man.
All right.
I'll be back in the chat.
All right, cool. Peace. All right. Is there anyone else? Is there no one else? Is there anybody else, man, who wants to come on, man? Anyone else who wants to come on and speak to Trent? Is there anybody else who wants to come on and speak to Trent, man? All right. Is there anybody who wants to come on and speak to Trent? Okay, Google, play Come On in the Room.
All right, Come On in the Room by Georgia Mass Choir and James Bignan. Playing on YouTube Music.
There was a family on their way down.
If you want to call in, I'm going to give y'all about 2 more minutes or whatever, then I'm going to shut this thing on down. If you got any questions regarding anything that you just read or you just heard.
Storm came. The lightning started flashing. The young man that was driving the car lost control of the automobile. Ran off the road, and everybody was all right except him. They got out of the car, and just across the dirt road was a white house.
I've been known to have that effect on people, Carl.
That White House and knocked on the door.
Matter of fact, we're going to call Carl.
And said, "Can I help you?" They said, "Ma'am, if you just let us, our brother just got in an accident. We want to just come in and make a telephone call. We want to call the doctor."
We're going to call Carl.
They walked in, and daughter got on the phone, and the phone kept ringing, and there was no answer.
That's good, because I was just getting ready to call you.
Sergeant Hoskins. Okay, Google, pause. All right. What's your feedback on what you just experienced, what you just heard?
I thought it was quite interesting. You were able to captivate the crowd with the slides. Your commentary was on point. But I'm here to tell you, that last slide with all that meat and no bread, I was hook, line, and sinker. I watched the boats. I watched everybody. But when I got to that meat, sign me up.
You know that I'm part Mandingo, right?
I know, that's why Dorothy a happy woman.
You feel me? Dorothy is she on a TDY. You feel me? You feel me? All right. Listen. All right. This is strictly a reference to the Mandinka people. They said, "Are they still alive?" This is 2008 right here. All right, walking around with baby legs. You know what I mean?
Straight hammer in your pants.
There you go. Shit.
But let me tell you something. When Wish put that on there, talking about they couldn't wear no drawers and no pants, I fell the fuck out.
What type of drawers gonna fit you like that? You feel me? Okay, Google, play Free Falling by Tom Petty.
You have to wear a loincloth for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Google, play Free Falling by Tom Petty.
Okay, Free Falling by Tom Petty. Here it is on YouTube Music.
This is how they be free balling. You feel me?
Yo, man, wow.
She's a good girl.
You feel me? This is how niggas is living right now. Y'all made Dorothy pop out the bushes, y'all. Y'all made these motherfuckers pop out the bushes.
You have to pop out the bushes when somebody's talking about they meat.
What? I mean, they wanted to know about the Mandingo people. They long dick, alright? Shit. We're gonna have this conversation about these long dicks. You feel me? Shit. This is what y'all wanted to see.
Let me tell you something. I know the women in that tribe was happy than a motherfucker.
Shit, they said sex is punishment, y'all. Free! Free balling!
Trey, I cannot with you. I cannot.
Free! This is the free balling. This is the Mandingo song. Free balling! You feel me? Who like a hostile black nigga? Okay, Google, pause.
Now you see why.
What?
You see why them pink dicks want to cut all them black dicks off.
There you go.
Because you can't do nothing with that. When you sit them next to that, they just shrink up. Angry than a motherfucker.
There you go. You feel me? That shit right there, shit.
I hate to make that monkey mad when he swell up.
Damn, ladies, how many of y'all want a Mandingo? Can I get some fives in the chat if y'all want a Mandingo?
They hung. They well hung and not even stretched out. I can imagine when they get swollen and get upset.
You feel? Nah, I mean, hey. This is a depiction of the Mandingo people. Okay.
Shred, you is wild as hell.
What? This is a real life. That's a real picture. I ain't making shit up.
I know. I love it. The history. I'm telling you, you're killing the game. You're killing the game.
This is all real stuff. This is strictly for educational purposes.
They walking around with baby bats in their pants. What is you gonna do with that bat? Who told you to bring that bat to the bed?
Okay, these are the Mandingo people.
They coming to bed with a Louisville Slugger.
Boy, this bitch Sharon Winbush, she real life mad. This bitch been posting videos of flowers all goddamn day. Somebody go over there and fertilize Sharon garden, man. We're gonna have to raise this some. We're gonna have to do some donations, man, to send Sharon some goddamn fertilizer for them goddamn flowers. Her ass keep on. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't paid that bitch no attention.
These are the Mandingo men. You feel me? These are current Mandingos right now.
Yeah, I can believe it. Rob must be a part of that tribe. That's why you're in trouble.
Shit. I'm a part of that tribe. Shit. What do you mean?
That's why Dorothy in trouble. Shit.
Dorothy is on TDY. I'm telling you. All right. These are Mandingo people. This is real life Mandingo. Okay?
Look, you had my undivided attention, but you captivated me when you got to that last side. The
Mandingos?
You better believe it. Now that was some history there.
For that ass.
You better believe it. Now I would love to see them in some porn to see what they do.
It's a porno star named Mandingo. Okay, shit. You know, it's a porno star named Mandingo.
Oh shit!
These are Mandingo women. Right?
You talking about the women thought sex was a punishment, a form of punishment.
They do. You ain't never heard the comedian Michael Blackson. Hold on, let me see if I can find Michael Blackson. Let me see. What was your favorite part though about the slides and what you saw though?
I really liked all the slides. They were quite informative. I liked the way that you broke it down and talked about the different materials that they used. And I said to myself, I said, wow, when I was younger, making paper boats in a tub, them boats showed in last. Somebody using paper, shit. It was really good. It was really good. All of it was really good. The slides was really, really informative. You did a really good job on that. You added a good visual. Yeah. It was good information.
I was trying.
Yeah, you did your thing. You weren't just trying. You did your thing. People go with steel, sharp, and steel.
What?
I said steel, sharp, and steel. People go where they can get fed. If you're looking for bullshit, you can find plenty of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to elevate yourself and go to the next level, then that's where you go to get fed. So don't never stop doing you.
Oh, man, listen, I got bullshit and I got intelligent conversation, all right? You see where it's 23 people in the chat right now because we having the intelligent conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we switch right back to the
people who learn something, 23 people who learn something.
You know, now, ain't nobody read the book, I guess.
I was guilty. I was guilty of that. I'm gonna be on the next book though. Yeah. I've been trying to take my little vacation. I go back next week, but I'm gonna get on top of it. And when we get to the next book, I'm gonna be on it.
Look, this shit, it take a while to put this shit together. How deep I had to get off into this shit to bring out the good shit. Listen,
yeah, you got deep into it.
You feel me? Knee deep, as Wishbone would say. General Bones say you be knee deep off in that thing.
General Bones been cutting up.
Listen, I've been busy. God damn it! This is this. You feel me? This is this. I mean, the next chapter we're gonna go into the Mexican influence. We're gonna go into the Mayan culture in how they were in America. This is the Mexican Valley.
Okay. So we must be getting to the part where they got to Spain.
No, we already went to Spain. I mean, you got to remember Columbus was coming out of Spain. He was coming.
Oh yeah, that was in chapter 2, right?
That was in chapter 1.
Oh, chapter 1. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I mean, so if we could get through chapter 5, okay, into chapter 6 is a whole chapter about Meningos. Okay.
Oh man.
This is Balls Deep Productions. You say what now?
Well, make sure I do my homework on chapter 6.
On chapter 6?
Yeah, you said we get back to the Mendigos in chapter 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of men. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of. This is a. Hold on, let me show the people. So, this is a Balls Deep production. Okay. This is a Balls Deep production.
Oh shit!
This is a Balls Deep production. Okay.
I can dig it.
This is Balls Deep production. All right.
Oh.
You know, I got a video editing company. You know, not only do we create the content that Dana J goes back and steals. All right. But we create video concepts. All right.
All Dana can do is keep a coloring book and some crayons.
Exactly. Exactly. However, everything is everything. So Quarter Hoskins.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to take this thing on out because they always say, take them to the bridge.
Yep.
The bridge is a place I've been. Therefore, I could take you right on back.
My man.
To the bridge.
I'm going with you.
There, hold on, give me 1 second.
You full of trickery.
Who?
I said you full of trickery, not the silverback.
What you mean the silverback?
You just had a silverback gorilla on the screen.
I said, damn, did I say the silverback? Shit, you got me confused on what I done said. Fuck it. If that's what you say, I said, you know, I said it. Shit.
There you go.
Shit, let me see. Let me see. Okay, I can't see this shit over here. Let me see something. Cause I just can't see it, my damn self. That's Dana. That's Dana, goddamn.
Look just like him.
Yeah, there you go. That's Dana right there. Okay, we gonna go ahead and take y'all on up out of here. Let's go.
My man, sir, have yourself a
This is how we do.
I go if I have to go. The water was cold and chilled my body, but it didn't chill my soul. Still water, they run deep, y'all. Still water, they run so deep. Still water, they run so deep. Still water, they run deep, y'all. And the preacher said, come here, son. We gonna baptize you today. Oh yeah, in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost. Yes, yeah. I went down in the water. The water was cold and chilled my body, but it didn't chill my soul. Still water, they run so deep. Still water, they run so deep. Whoa, yes they do, y'all. Still water, they run deep. Listen, y'all.